The most commonly asked research defense questions with the answer. 1. What is your topic, and why did you choose it? Give a quick summary in just a few sentences on what you've researched. You could certainly go on for hours about your work, but make sure you prepare a way to give a very brief overview of your thesis. Then, give a quick background on your process for choosing this topic. 2. How does your topic contribute to the existing literature? How is it important? Many researchers identify a need in the field and choose a topic to bridge the gaps that previous literature has failed to cover. For example, previous studies might not have included a certain population, region, or circumstance. Talk about how your thesis enhances the general understanding of the topic to extend the reach beyond what others have found, and then give examples of why the world needs that increased understanding. For instance, a thesis on romaine lettuce crops in desert climates might bring much-needed knowledge to a region that might not have been represented in previous work. 3. What are the key findings of your study? When reporting your main results, make sure you have a handle on how detailed your committee wants you to be. Give yourself several options by preparing a very general, quick summary of your findings that takes a minute or less, 2. A more detailed rundown of what your study revealed that is 3 to 5 minutes long, and 3. A 10 to 15 minute synopsis that delves into your results in detail. With each of these responses prepared, you can gauge which one is most appropriate in the moment, based on what your committee asks you and what has already been requested. 4. What type of background research did you do for your study? Here you'll describe what you did while you were deciding what to study. This usually includes a literary review to determine what previous researchers have already introduced to the field. You also likely had to look into whether your study was going to be possible and what you would need in order to collect the needed data. Did you need info from databases that require permissions or fees? 5. What was your hypothesis, and how did you form it? Describe the expected results you had for your study and whether your hypothesis came from previous research experience, long-held expectations, or cultural myths. 6. What limitations did you face when writing your text? It's inevitable researchers will face roadblocks or limiting factors during their work. This could be a limited population you had access to, like if you had a great method of surveying university students, but you didn't have a way to reach out to other people who weren't attending that school. 7. Why did you choose your particular method for your study? Different research methods are more fitting to specific studies than others, example qualitative versus quantitative, and knowing this, you applied a method that would present your findings most effectively. What factors led you to choose your method? 8. Who formed the sample group of your study, and why did you choose this population? Many factors go into the selection of a participant group. Perhaps you were motivated to survey women over 50 who experience burnout in the workplace. Did you take extra measures to target this population? Or perhaps you found a sample group that responded more readily to your request for participation, and after hitting dead ends for months, convenience is what shaped your study population. Make sure to present your reasoning in an honest but favorable way. 9. What obstacles or limitations did you encounter while working with your sample? Outline the process of pursuing respondents for your study and the difficulties you faced in collecting enough quality data for your thesis. Perhaps the decisions you made took shape based on the participants you ended up interviewing. 10. Was there something specific you were expecting to find during your analysis? Expectations are natural when you set out to explore a topic, especially when you've been dancing around throughout your academic career. This question can refer to your hypotheses, but it can also touch on your personal feelings and expectations about this topic. What did you believe you would find when you dove deeper into the subject? Was that what you actually found, or were you surprised by your results? 11. What did you learn from your study? Your response to this question can include not only the basic findings of your work, if you haven't covered this already, but also some personal surprises you might have found that veered away from your expectations. Sometimes these details are not included in the thesis, so these details can add some spice to your defense. 12. What are the recommendations from your study? With connection to the reasons you chose the topic, your results can address the problems your work is solving. Give specifics on how policymakers, professionals in the field, etc., can improve their service with the knowledge your thesis provides. 13. If given the chance, what would you do differently? Your response to this one can include the limitations you encountered or dead ends you hit that wasted time and funding. Try not to dwell too long on the annoyances of your study, and consider an area of curiosity. For example, discuss an area that piqued your interest during your exploration that would have been exciting to pursue but didn't directly benefit your outline study. 14. How did you relate your study to the existing theories in the literature? Your paper likely ties your ideas into those of other researchers, so this could be an easy one to answer. Point out how similar your work is to some and how it contrasts other works of research. Both contribute greatly to the overall body of research. 15. What is the future scope of this study? This one is pretty easy, since most theses include recommendations for future research within the text. That means you already have this one covered, and since you read over your thesis before your defense, it's already fresh in your mind.